All right, everybody. It's the Combatcast with a man called Dave Chevy. We are going to review the recent fight night of Bautista versus Oliveira, and we'll probably have a little fight news in between, and we'll talk about some stuff on Patreon today for you Patreon folks. Actually, we'll have a little game. Once again, Dave trying to say fighters' names correctly. We'll see how good or bad this goes for me. In the meantime, Chevy, it's nothing going on this weekend. Valentine's Day. Be with the ones you love. But what's coming up after that?
All right, February 21st, UFC is back with UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez, 8 p.m. from Houston. That's going to be I assume, pretty high-paced middleweight fight. And then February 28th, UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Kavanaugh now. That's 8 p.m. from Mexico. So Brandon Moreno gets a new opponent, a guy I don't think I've ever heard of or I can't remember hearing of. So I'm sure we'll dig into him a little bit before we preview that. And then March 7th, UFC 326 Holloway versus Oliveira, 9 p.m. from T-Mobile in Vegas.
That's
BMF belt on the line.
That's the one we're excited about. That's what I'm waiting for at this point. So we'll go around the ring first. First thing I was going to talk about Zuffa Boxing. They had an announcement today as we were getting to record this, and they're going to crown their inaugural cruiserweight champion. Get the gentleman's name right here. Opa. This should go on the segment. Opataya. I believe I actually am saying that right. Opataya. Jai Opataya. He's undefeated. I want to say just like 29-0 and like 26 knockouts. And the guy he's fighting is Brandon Glanton, who just knocked out a former champion. And I believe he's got a record of something similar, like, let's say 21-3 with like 18 knockouts. The important thing is he's never been finished. So should be a fun fight. That's for Super Boxing. They're going to be giving away tickets to some fans this weekend for anybody who watches the Zuffa Boxing card this weekend. I want to say, I think it's like a 3-night thing. They got Power Slap on Friday. They got Holloway and Oliveira, UFC 326 that weekend. And then you can stay for the Zuffa Boxing, which will crown the cruiserweight title. And you're sitting like in Dana White's seat. So anybody who wins that, cool for them.
You're in the apex with the 6 other people that'll be there. So I mean, you know the seats are good.
I mean, UFC 326, that's got to be animation.
Oh, that's in T-Mobile, but all the Zuffa stuff, they don't have an audience yet. How are they going to have it at T-Mobile? No, it's in the apex.
Yes, that'll be very intimate.
So are they just going to do every Zuffa on Sundays? Because you boys work, you know? So Sunday night don't work for me.
Yeah, it's funny because the first one was done like on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And now you're right.
Like do Friday night fights. There's no fights on Friday. Bring that back.
And March 8th is a Sunday? All right. Well, yeah, that's a bummer. Hopefully we'll mix it up with a few Friday night cards and stuff like that. Power Slap, don't put Power Slap on Sunday, damn it. You know?
Just stop doing Power Slap.
Well, yeah. That's another way. And the White House card, I believe you were telling me off right there. Are we going to have 6 fights there announced now?
Yeah, Ari Emanuel said that 6 fights they're shooting for on the White House because obviously they talked about them all being title fights. So there's potential for 6 5-round fights. You know, that could go a really long time. So 6 fights is more than enough. Plus, it's going to be kind of just a spectacle. It's not a real fight night thing. So I know Dana had mentioned online somewhere today that they are like just today starting to put together some negotiations for those fights. So hopefully we'll be getting some news about those soon because as we've talked about before, not going to be a whole lot of exciting, high level title fights, at least before or shortly after that card in June.
Yeah. And so we have a good card coming up for 26 March, great main event at least. So yeah, April and May. It'll be interesting to see what we get.
April and May are going to be like strawweight women's and then flyweight women's or something like that. I guarantee it.
We shall see. Let's get to the meat of the matter. Coming off, Bautista versus Oliveira. The spectacular fight night. Hey, I mean, I've seen worse.
Oh, yeah. It was better than I thought it was going to be on paper for sure.
I texted you afterwards. I mean, we'll get into the fight breakdown, but I texted you afterwards. I felt like an asshole because, you had picked Horiguchi and I was going Albazi. And then I was looked at the stat that, of course, all of Horiguchi's success that I watched, his wins and were at bantamweight mostly. And that loss to Mighty Mouse was his only loss at flyweight. And I immediately thought to you, oh, damn, I wish I had changed that prediction now.
Yeah, Horiguchi's the man, yeah. Let's just go through some of the earlier fights since we have no fights to preview for the upcoming week. So Farid Basharat got a decision win over Gianni Vasquez. That was supposed to be the Saeed Nurmagomedov, but he had fallen out for some reason. So he got that win before his younger brother, Farid Basharat, eked out a split decision over Jean Matsumoto. The younger brother being the prodigy, the more skilled fighter. He was a pretty heavy favorite, I believe, but Matsumoto put in a good shift, and Basharat was able to eke out a decision. Nikolai Vernatenikov quickly dispatched Nico Price round 1 with a KO, elbows and punches up against the cage, just put him out.
I walked in at the end of that one. I saw poor Nico. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, he didn't really get an opportunity to showcase anything, unfortunately. So, good win for Vernatenikov. On the undercard, Michal Oleksiejczuk versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Great fight for Oleksiejczuk, but Barriault had his moments for sure, but Oleksiejczuk was really dominating him in a lot of the fight. Number 6, Jailton Almeida versus Rizvan Kuniev. Did you see this fight, Dave? Okay, so that was the heavyweight. Fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I saw someone say, it might have been Ariel or Luke Thomas or something online, said, did somebody sign Almeida up for MMA against his will? It looks like he doesn't want to fight every time he's in there. Like, it really looks like he doesn't know what, like somebody's making him do this, So he says he's going back down to light heavyweight. This is 2 losses in a row at heavyweight for him. I don't see it being a lot different there. It wasn't a great showing for Rizvan either. It was he just clinched him up against the cage, but Almeida just didn't engage at all. He would throw a couple punches and they were 100% all power punches, but he really had no hope of getting the takedown and submitting the guy. So he just stopped trying.
Quick question. Since heavyweight boxing has really been sucking lately anyway for a little while now, who is that exciting kickboxer they just signed? Rico?
Rico Verhoeven, yeah.
Verhoeven, yeah.
He's fighting Alexander Usyk.
Oh,
that's what they're trying to set up anyway. So he originally was in talks with the UFC.
Yeah.
And I guess that fell out. And yeah, he's signing a fight against Alex. I mean, he's gonna make way more money against Alexander Usyk, but
I get it. And Zuffa might try to get their hands on that anyway too. So they probably don't give a shit unless they don't go through that.
Yeah, they can fight in the Apex. Yeah.
All
right. Yeah, let's get to the main card though.
We'll talk about heavyweight. I was hoping.
Yeah. Co-main event: Amir Albazi versus Kyoji Horiguchi.
Yeah, Horiguchi just looked like the better fighter overall that you said he would probably be. And I mean, all right. So the way I saw it, he was overwhelming him with grappling, speed, striking. And if I remember correctly, because I've been very busy, I think at one point Albazi did catch him and wobble him a bit, and Horiguchi responded. So, I mean, when you take all of that into consideration, took one on the chin, came back, dominated the fight. I mean, can you ask for a better performance and a more complete performance than that? Maybe he could have got the finish. Honestly, if this went a few more rounds, maybe he would have, because Horiguchi was looking even stronger in that third to me. But yeah, impressive performance. The only thing is if he got the finish.
Yeah, so he got the decision win. He looked way faster. His counters were brilliant. He really just baited in Albazi and would lay in these huge right hands. He did very well in the grappling, like you said. Albazi certainly looked rusty, I'm not sure if he had injuries or people just don't want to fight him too. He's kind of one of those guys where people he's a very dangerous fight and they don't want to fight him, but clearly he needs to be more active. I assume he had injuries, but one fight a year and then he was off all of 2025. So
yeah, he had some kind of major injury actually that he was out for a while. I don't recall it because it was probably the more important thing, but I was more interested in Horiguchi only losing the Mighty Mouse because I knew I was going to be wrong. But yeah, so he's been injured and he was out for a while. So, unfortunately, because he's a real tough guy. I mean, obviously just to not get finished in those 3 rounds with somebody like Horiguchi who was putting that kind of pressure on you, good on
he
you.
Was bloodied up early too. He fought through it. So yeah,
we're almost done. This was hard. Do you think Horiguchi should? I mean, obviously Pantoja should be next, but if Pantoja is still injured, would Horiguchi be a guy you'd like to see in there, or you think another fight
now? He's in the top 5 now, I think. So I think you just put him right in there. I mean, he's done his due diligence. He's looked the best, like in the division. He's a character, like a personality. You know, he's marketable. So yeah, I say you put him right in there.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Main event was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, luckily. So Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira.
Yeah, Batista overwhelmed Oliveira. I did laugh because you did say you always pick against Batista, so why change it up? But yeah, he overwhelmed him, and a lot of it was, I thought, just that grappling by Batista, you know, is a problem for some of these guys. Here's the thing. I still think coming away from this, though, that just watching the fight, that if you have a guy Batista can overwhelm or something like in here, he's going to get the finish, and that's cool. But if he doesn't get the finish, he's just one of those boring fighters because either A, he's just not overall very exciting, or B, he's so tough, he's hard to finish a lot. So I didn't walk away from this thinking, wow, Mario Bautista, like, I really want to see another one of his fights. But I was thinking, wow, this guy is still pretty good. He's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, so Batista got a rear naked choke in round 2. Oliveira apparently cut like 30 pounds for this fight. So, I mean, he looked like it. You know, slow, no stamina. His power wasn't even that impressive. So, bad performance from him, but equally good performance from Bautista. So, he's very intelligent. That's kind of why you get sort of those boring fights. He stays safe. He doesn't overextend, you know, so that doesn't always lead to the most exciting fights. But this was one of his better ones. He really put the pressure on Vinicius, so he's on a good run. I'll pick him next time, and he'll lose. So
I wonder if, before we get out, I wonder what do you think about maybe going up in weight class at featherweight, trying something different, maybe having speed, or you know, I don't know. We'll see how he'd have to look, but I mean,
for Bautista,
yeah, for Bautista.
No, he's on a track to get in a title shot. He lost his last fight, but. Against Umar, you know, so everyone's losing to him. So
he wants to Sandhagen next, which I think is a rematch. I think doesn't Corey have a win on him?
Umar or
no?
Batista? I don't know. I'm not sure. I know Vinicius. I think he said he was gonna move up. Obviously, cutting 30 pounds and a performance like that, he probably should move up. Yeah, so maybe 2 weight classes. You know. Well,
that was the fight night. Hey, you know what? Like I said, the Horiguchi fight wasn't bad, and we got a finish. So. All in all, I don't know what this means. UFC Fight Night could have been worse. Let's tell people what we got coming up one more time.
All right, February 21st, UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez. That's a title eliminator at middleweight, 8 p.m. from Houston, Texas. February 28th, UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Kavanaugh. That's 8 p.m. from Mexico. You know there's going to be a huge fan contingent for Moreno. Obviously, probably all of them. So I know we'll be rooting for Moreno. And then March 7th, UFC 326, our boys Holloway and Oliveira going to war. Going to be a bittersweet fight for sure. That's 9 p.m. T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
The fight I'm looking forward to the most in a while, though. So very excited for it. Guys, thanks for tuning in. And for you peeps on Patreon,